What's up, everybody? We have Pharaoh's Academy on the Pharaoh's Academy podcast. Yes, I'm Below. Nice to meet you guys. 11th grade junior. I'm going to pass it on to my friend.
Hi, I'm Victoria. We're here on the Pharaoh's Academy podcast. I'm 11th grade as well, and today we have a very special guest.
How you doing? I'm sorry.
Come on, Gene.
I'm trying to help out with the shows.
Come on.
Copy.
Go ahead.
But I'm Gene Talbert, musician, producer, and that's it. I don't really brag on myself.
Yeah, how it is. First question we have for you today is name some of the artists you work with.
I'm the music director for 50 Cent.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
I've worked with countless people, Lil Kim, Demi Lovato, A Boogie. I've worked with people from A Boogie to Jeff Redd.
So like all
Katy
different
Burke.
genres.
From like current to like way back.
All right, so as a music director, what does it mean to be the music director for 50 Cent? For people that don't know.
So as a music director, basically my responsibility is making sure the band is in place, knowing what's going to happen. If they want music, sometimes I gotta arrange different things. They might ask for certain like arrangements on certain things. Like we just did something for Stars. He has Power, so they Stars call me and say, "Hey, we want a dramatic intro from the Stars, ding 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 to Big Rich Town." So I came up along with my brothers with this big string intro. And it was just it's fun, So I really make sure I handle budgets for the band, making sure that we're all being paid.
So like, when did you fall in love with music? Like,
I fell in love with music when I was like 1 year old, from a baby. My father plays organ. My whole family. His father played. My grandmother played.
You know how to play?
Yeah, I play keys.
Okay.
So I'm the music director and the keyboard player for 50 Cent. But I started on drums when I was about 1. And from there, I just started like growing to love keys. I didn't really start playing keys till I was in high school.
So you're a drummer by nature?
Drummer by nature, yeah.
Did you start in the church?
Yes, of course. I still play in church. I'll never leave church. I love God.
It's a common thread. A common thread.
Yeah, I mean, some of the greatest musicians on tour right now all come from church. Like most of them started in church or are still in church. Like I love church. Like that's my foundation. I'll never stop playing in church.
So what was like your big break as a music producer?
My first gig outside of church was the 2010 BET Awards.
Wait, so you was playing before you was a director?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the 2010 BET Awards with El Varner, for MBK Entertainment, and
all right.
It actually, I'm not going to say it happened by mistake, but what it was, I had a gospel group named LaVray, and they were signed to MBK Entertainment, which used to manage Alicia Keys. And we had the group, and me and my band, we kept saying, "Oh, man, we want to play for the other artists on the thing, too. Like, we do gospel, but we could do that, too." And the guy's like, "Oh, you sure?" Because all I seen y'all play was gospel. We were like, "Nah, give us a shot." So what ended up happening is one of the artists was going to be on the BET Awards, but the band that played for her, the MD and the drummer, they're brothers. Their brother was getting married, so they couldn't
make it.
Yeah.
So that was our opportunity to show
had that shot.
What we were made of, and we did it, and they loved it, and from there.
Wait, y'all weren't nervous?
Oh yeah, of course. It was our first, shot and glimpse of seeing something like professional and being on a big stage, and like we're playing in front of like the greatest musicians in the world, in front of some of the biggest artists, So it's like,
so you literally went from, and I don't want to use the word nobody, but kind of like y'all hadn't had your shot yet, to bang.
Yeah, it was like church Sunday morning to I'm in LA at the BET Awards.
Right.
Next to Diddy.
That's really crazy.
Right. That's what driving.
This was 2010, so I was 20? That's 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was 20.
And then also, it's kind of like that. Did you feel at that moment that you made it, that it happened for you, or were you just kind of starstruck about what was happening to you?
I was still in. I ain't gonna lie. I was in awe. I didn't know. While we were on stage, this was when Michael Jackson had first passed, 2010, and they had Chris Brown do the tribute to Michael Jackson. He started crying, and we were literally sitting on the stage like while he was performing, and I'm just sitting there like, yo, that's Chris Brown performing for Michael Jackson. Like,
exactly.
You know, I'm in the back chilling with Patty.
Wait, so Michael's supposed to be there?
No,
if he had not died.
No. You know, it was just they do a tribute to different people. So with him passing, they had Chris Brown do a tribute to him because he passed. You know, but it was just like, whoa, we're on stage right now.
Now you had a cell phone back then, right?
With me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So how was it looking like after y'all show?
Oh, like the pictures and stuff?
No, like people calling y'all like, oh yeah, y'all on BET.
Oh man, people was calling left and right, texting, posting on. But you see, social media back then and videos and stuff back then is not as crazy as it is now. You know what I'm saying? So like the footage and stuff we had back then is kind of like pixelated and sound weird and stuff. You know, now it's like you record from your phone. It's like you did a record. Sometimes you know. But,
did you think because you were so young at the time that people wouldn't believe in you?
No, I don't think I ever suffered with people not believing in me. I think I suffered more with not believing in myself. That was harder than anything. I think people believed in me more than I believed in myself.
Oh, like some days, like, yo, I'm not feeling out there. I can make it with this, like that type of thing.
Yeah, when you sometimes as a full-time musician, like when this is your constant hustle, I'll be honest, things can get slow. You know, there's one day where 1 year you can make 400,000, and the next year you can make 50,000. If the workload is not coming through, and stuff like that can be discouraging. So, you know, it's been times where I'm just like, I ain't doing this no more. I'm going to get a 9 to 5. But then I realized, like, yo, I got a purpose.
Exactly. It's what you love to do.
Yeah, I love this. You know what I'm saying? When I get behind a keyboard and I'm playing, I'm happy, you know? And I got, at 20 years old, I started playing for 50 Cent in 2011. At 21, I got to see parts of the world that I never even thought I would ever see in my life. Like, my first show with 50 was in France.
Oh, how was France?
Amazing. I never been overseas like that. I've been to the Bahamas. That was the furthest I've been anywhere, you know? So to go to France and I'm performing with 50 Cent in front of 60,000 people.
Do you believe that 50 Cent like really made you into the person that you are today?
He played a big part. 50 Cent taught us a lot about loyalty, and he taught us a lot about business. He's an incredible businessman. You know, when we first started playing for him, the first thing he did was make us all open business accounts, and he paid for it. And he made sure that we all had business accounts so that we can become brands and businesses
and entities.
Entities, yeah. So that when we get paid, we getting paid as businessmen and businesses. And he taught us different things and different financial things of how to run your business and stuff. And he always was supportive. If we had a business and we needed him to make a video to shout it out, he'll do it. You know, I'm like, yo, Fifth, I'm starting a clothing line. Can you shout out my clothing line?
He got you.
I got you. Like, you know, and I know what people see is like, oh, he's this thug and he's this, he's that. And people always come to me and ask me that, oh, is he, how you deal with him? I'm like, yo, he's one of the greatest artists I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
One of the most
and people.
Yeah, one of the most
and as a person.
Yeah. Like, I've seen that dude, like, it's been times where, like, the door would be open in our dressing room, we in there talking, and he'll walk in, and I'm like, oh, yo, big homie, come sit down. He's like, yo, man, sit there. And he'll come and sit on the floor right here and just talk to us for hours. And
that's crazy.
Because he's that humble. But, you know, people see one side of things, you know. You see what people allow you to see. Social media can blur your vision, and so can life, you know. But he's probably one of the greatest people I've ever worked with.
Yeah, you worked with any singers? Oh, my fault, Vic. You worked with any singers? Like,
a few. Like I said, I did one of my brothers, music director for Demi Lovato. So I did like a Vivo taping with her.
Oh, okay.
It's an amazing experience. I've got to play with Trey Songz, like on the 50 show, Joe. So many people, man. Sometimes I lose track, and when I look back, sometimes like, dang,
I worked with him.
I forgot I played for this person. You know, we just did Rolling Loud. I was showing Principal Brown and Miss Mosby, like, yo, we played for A Boogie, The Baby, and 50 at Rolling Loud. And it was just an experience, like, you know, 60,000 people in the crowd. The energy is different, you know. It's just like, oh my God, like, and even that, I'm 32 now. Like, I've been doing it since 2010.
Yeah, it's like 12 years.
It's like, yo, every time it's like even more electrifying. Like, yo, this is another level. Like, it's getting crazier.
In your opinion, who do you think is the next best thing, the next biggest artist?
I don't know. I can't even. It's so many like talented people out here, but I'll be honest. I listen to a lot of underground music, like of people that people don't. It's not really popular, like artists like Smino, that people might not really know, as much. But there are a lot of. I listen to a lot more too. Like, I'm very into everything, so I listen to country music.
I like
music.
Expanding with taste.
And as a musician, like right now, as a musician, I really want to study like Latin music. So I've been listening to a lot of like salsa and different things. So I want to learn how to play it authentically. So I feel like my uncle told me years ago, sometimes you don't want to play. You want to let it like sink into your head for a while. And once it sinks in, then you can tap in and start and it just fall. Like it'll fall into your fingers and you just start hearing it. So that's what I'm doing now with that.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So like learning the keys, like you like who taught it to you, or you self-taught?
My dad.
Or your dad taught you?
My dad actually forced me to play keys.
Oh.
I didn't want to play keys.
But you started to like it?
I started to like it later in life. I was a drummer, and my dad used to always say, man, play keys. My father, so the history, my father is a keyboard player, like I said, My grandfather is a keyboard player.
Did he play for any bands, or your dad? Like,
my dad actually used to have his own band back in the day. They weren't popular, but he used to actually play. He was the keyboard player for the actor Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
His father used to have a band back in the day, and my father was his keyboard player.
Wow.
And like as the years came, my father, like when I was one, I said I was playing drums. Then I would get older, and my pops just like, yo, man, you need to play keys. I don't want to play keys. Like, as a young man, you see drums. Drums is energetic. It's like, yo, it's
aggressive.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I like
drums. Keys like an elegant, like.
You got to sit there, you doing, I'm just like, I don't want to play
I just started playing keys, like, just recently, like, last year, March. And, like, when you do some type of thing, your hands start cramping. Like, it hurts. The process is like.
And then I got a father that's like, I used to call him Joe Jackson.
Oh, okay.
He would teach me something like, that ain't right. Da, da, da. So I was like, yo, I quit. I'm not doing this. So, I was like, I want to do it. My mother's mother played. My father's father played.
So it's kind of like a legacy.
Yeah. All of my uncles played. My father has 5 brothers. Out of 5 of them, only one of them don't play.
Oh, okay.
Even my cousins. My cousin, Richard Tauber, is like one of the biggest gospel artists out right now. I have another cousin. They like all my family does something musically.
Damn, y'all functions must be crazy.
Yeah, all of our family functions turn into a musical.
Damn,
you know what I mean? So but it's fun. I appreciate it. So as I got older, I'm like, I kind of like this. And then the different things I could do with sounds and stuff and manipulating things, I started really loving it. And then I kind of strayed away from drums. And then high school, I played saxophone a little bit. So I played sax.
That's not hard.
It's hard, but then
after
high school, I kind of never touched it again.
Oh, okay.
I wish I would have because it's just something else to have under your belt. I don't believe in quitting anything. I can still play a little bit if I pick it up, but not fluently. But keys, that's my thing. I play from church to shows and do tracks at home. I love it.
I mean, I think learning keyboards is key in you being able to produce. Right, because playing drums, you basically it's just drums.
Yeah.
Keys, keyboards used to be just the piano.
Yeah.
And then once it became electronic, well, now you can play strings and you can do pads, and then that gave you the ability to really do more, and produce records.
Yeah.
Really, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, it's crazy that now some of the top producers can't play anything. They can't.
They just got that little app and then. Breaking beats.
I mean, sometimes it's an app, but like if you hear stuff, like I have a cousin that's amazing with making drums on like beats and stuff, and he can't play anything. He can't play drums. He can't play keys, but he makes amazing beats.
Yeah, for.
And I'm just looking at him like, how? But
it wasn't that easy before.
Yeah, it's like how? But he's making it from scratch. Like it's not like the new thing where some people take loops and do certain things. Like nah, he's making it from scratch.
Would you rather make it from scratch or have that?
Like the skill, like keyboards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like for me, it's what works for you. Like some people make dope beats from scratch. Some people make dope beats by mixing a bunch of loops and samples, and they come up with something dope. I mean, I feel whatever works for you, and if it's musical and it's dope, just do it.
Which one do you prefer? Which one do you like doing more?
I do it from scratch because that's what I came from, and I'm an actual musician. Like I play, so it's easier. Like my cousins who produce hip hop. One of my cousins, he'll be here today. My cousin Dot, he's a producer, and he produces for everybody from Jada Kiss to he did Dave East last stuff. He does a lot of boogie stuff, and I came up, and for me it was like my like certification in hip hop music was him telling me like, yo, got it. And he's my peer. Like he's only like 2 years older than me, but his like approval meant a lot to me because he does this for real. Like we started with like Cuzzo, Corey Guns. Like we started producing. Like we would play my second gig was Corey Guns, MTV Son of a Gun. Like, you know, that's family. So it's like going from there and then getting that approval from them. I'm just like, okay, now I'm like, I made it. I could do this hip hop stuff, you know.
So now I have a question for you. Okay. What part of the Bronx are you from?
Me, I'm from. Well, I was born in Valentine Avenue.
Valentine Ave, yeah.
Valentine and Burnside, but I moved at like the age of 1, and I moved over to like Watson area. Watson.
Oh, yeah, Soundview.
That's about where I live.
And then I'm stayed there until I graduated high school. And then
where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school. So my school at first was in Clinton High School. It was the
DeWitt Clinton.
DeWitt Clinton, yeah.
That's right.
It was a school called the BRONX High School of Music. They had just started. It was in DeWitt Clinton, and then we moved from DeWitt Clinton after the first year, and then we ended up in Walton.
Oh yeah.
So
up on Jerome Avenue.
Yeah. So we would do Walton, and then we would go next door to Lehman College.
Lehman College is right
for
there.
our music classes.
Got you. Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm Bronx born and bred. I did the reverse. I lived on Soundview Avenue. Not Soundview. Morrison and Story. I lived in Lafayette.
Lafayette.
I grew up in Lafayette, and then I moved over to 181st Street and 3rd Avenue, and I lived across the street from St. Barnabas Hospital. And I went to Christopher Columbus High School and the whole thing. I'm Bronx born and bred.
Yeah, Columbus is no joke.
Yeah.
So,
man.
like, how did being from the Bronx, like, you know, influence your music? I know it was the church, but like being from the Bronx, did it like change anything?
Nah, I don't think where I was from changed my style of music. I think actually in church it affected my playing more because like in church they have a thing where they call it like the Brooklyn sound, the Bronx sound, and well they say that the Bronx doesn't really have a sound in church, but there is a such thing as a Brooklyn sound, and that was like when I was going out to Brooklyn and doing certain things in the church, it was just like, yeah, he ain't from here. He don't play like us. And it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, they really knew it.
Yeah, they can tell. Because there's a certain way they play that is like a church musician kind of almost a standard.
Gotcha.
In Brooklyn guys. I mean, now it's different because you have so many young guys coming up and doing different things. But back then they had like a standard of musician. But, you know, now, I mean, it's not, I mean, they still show me love, you know, but they knew I wasn't from Brooklyn because like he doesn't play like us.
Gotcha.
So you think you like stood out in the crowd?
Somewhat. I'm
good or bad.
I'm a shy person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I always, even when I'm on stage, like in my head, I'm just like, oh man,
Exactly.
like 60,000 people out here.
Like before a game, like you still got that butterfly
yeah,
feeling, like
still,
that type.
Even at 32, like I've been doing this for 12 years, and I still get on stage, and I'm like,
Yeah, like.
but
then once you start getting in the rhythm, then you start getting more comfortable. Then.
It's not even that I'm not comfortable. It's just like it's just something in me. But I feel like that helps keep me humble. You know,
Right.
I've never been a brag. Like
Yeah,
they
like-
call it braggadocious. I've never been a braggadocious person. Or even when I first came here, Mr. Brown, my cousin came. It was like, Mr. Brown, like, yo, you ain't tell us you did all that. I was like, yeah, I don't
talk like that.
Yeah, you know, I'm here to help out
Influence.
the best way I can. I want to influence, and I'm just not a bragging person. Like, yeah, I did this, I did that. You know, some people could be like, yeah, I played for this person, I did that, I did this. Yeah, you know. And I'm just like, that's funny. You know,
Like,
I'm just grateful that people think enough of me to have me do it.
Exactly.
So I can't ever be cocky about something that I'm grateful for. I feel like that's a gift to me.
Yeah.
You know, so
Like
you
an
know,
accomplishment.
yeah, it's a great accomplishment. You know, my mom like one day cried over the phone because she's like, I watched you from banging on pots and pans to traveling the world. You know, I've
for
been
real.
all over Switzerland, Sweden, Brazil, Africa, sharing a gift that I was given. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm grateful, man. You know, I
Yeah.
can never be cocky or a bragging person because this gift is real. I thank God every day for a gift. You know, my hands, these are gifts. You know,
Yeah.
people don't understand that. Like, this is gift. Memory is a gift. You know,
Yeah.
there's some people that can't remember stuff. They can't. People lose their minds every day. I'm grateful. I
Yeah,
never
true.
did that. You know, that never happened to me. You know, you never know what's going to happen from day to day. And I'm just grateful to still be here, be in my right mind, be able to remember things. I'm blessed. Creativity is a gift.
Yeah, to be creative.
Gene, we try to keep the interviews between 15 minutes.
Yes, sir.
We did 20 because yours was dope.
I appreciate y'all even having me.
We did 20, man, because you got a lot to talk about. You know what I'm saying? You might be shy, but you open up. You got a lot of history and wisdom.
Yeah, so we're grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing it.
For sure.
Thank you for coming on, and we're going to punch out. Bilal, you got it? You taking us out?
Yeah, let's go.